Let's talk this brand new 2025 Honda Goldwing Tour DCT 50th Anniversary Edition, which marks 50 years of continuous, uninterrupted production of this motorcycle since 1975 with the original GL1000 to today, this Boudreaux metallic red 800 plus pound monster that costs slightly over 30,000 US dollars. Now, you think of Honda's most iconic motorcycles like the Valkyrie or the CB Hornet, they've all come and gone. Despite their iconic status, they never stuck around much. They appear and disappear in some select countries, depending on what Honda thinks is best, due to the demand of those motorcycles. But the Goldwing has always been present every year since 75 to today in every market that Honda is active in, and that's due to the demand of this motorcycle and the prestigious status and the fact that this motorcycle defined the category it belongs to, this luxury ultra long haul touring motorcycles. And of course, since then all the other manufacturers have joined, but the Goldwing has remained the most iconic one of them all. Now, why is it called the Goldwing? Because of the Honda logo that's in the background. Of course, that one is silver because you're looking at a modern logo, but at the time this motorcycle was first introduced in 75, the Goldwing logo was gold. The Honda logo was gold, and hence the name of this motorcycle, Goldwing. And when you buy one of these motorcycles, you get a goodie bag that contains a magazine that takes you through the history of this motorcycle from day one to today, and you also get a little tabletop scale model, a little toy version of your motorcycle. But with all of that, you and I are ready to go actually review this motorcycle. There's a lot to cover, and that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go wheel to wheel and everything in between on this 2025 Honda Goldwing Touring DCT 50th Anniversary Edition, and see for about $30,200 what you're expecting to get from Honda on this motorcycle. And then we're going to go get on it, go out there, ride this motorcycle, and then I'm going to quantify my thoughts and give this bike the Emmy score. Let's go. Let's start off by talking about what's powering this motorcycle, this massive six-cylinder horizontally opposed or flat six-cylinder engine that has a displacement of 1,833 cc's. That makes about 125 horsepower and about 170 foot-pounds of torque. An enormous number, of course, needed for moving this 800 plus pound motorcycle. But the advantage of this configuration of the engine as opposed to something like the R18 Transcontinental from BMW that I reviewed and is on my channel, go check that out, is that engine is very thumpy and it shakes a lot. This motorcycle, on the other hand, is all about smoothness of ride and lowering the center of gravity as much as possible for ease of control. This motorcycle, in fact, is so smooth. I'm going to put a water bottle on the seat, start the engine, and rev it, and you're going to barely see any ripples in the surface of the water. Take a look. And in front of the engine cowling on each side, you have fog lights that are activated with the fog light button on the gas tank. And they're meant to provide that low-level road illumination light so that they don't actually reflect off of the water vapor in the air and actually make you not be able to see. And you also have these 3 exhaust headers coming out of the engine, of course, because it's a 6-cylinder engine. 3 on the right side, 3 on the left side, and they go out to this cool-looking muffler underneath each tail light, preserving that symmetrical look on this motorcycle, which has been iconic of the Goldwing. And this motorcycle is equipped with dual clutch transmission, or DCT. I have gone into the in-depth explanation of what DCT is in some other videos. I'll link those over here so you can go check them out. Now, in case you didn't quite hear how this motorcycle sounds on the stock mufflers, well, this is a better footage of how the 2025 Honda Goldwing DCT Touring 50th Anniversary sounds. Now let's move up here and talk about electronic and creature comfort features on this motorcycle, which is really where the Goldwing has been a pioneer. Until recently, Ninja H2 SXSE has been catching up and has actually introduced features that are a little even more advanced than the Goldwing, but the Goldwing was first to introduce them and has probably developed them most reliably amongst all the other competitors because it's had them for the longest time, including a movable windscreen. It irks me when a motorcycle is touring or adventure and its windscreen either doesn't move, or if it does, you need tools to unscrew things, move it to a new position, and screw things back in. On this particular motorcycle, push of a button. Over here on the left handlebar, you have the windscreen moving button. Moving down from that windscreen, you get to this huge dashboard here, which combines LCD screens, analog dials and gauges, and a TFT screen at the center of it. So an example from every technologies throughout the year. As you know, analog was first, and then LCD screens showed up, and then TFT screens. You have an example from each of those technologies here. I prefer this over motorcycles that only utilize a single TFT screen, as though you're sitting in your living room staring at a TV screen up here. They have no creativity or craftsmanship involved anymore, and that's the case, for example, with Harley Davidson Ultra Limited. There's just a huge TFT screen here and nothing else. On this motorcycle, there is some creativity at least spent here. There is the TFT screen, but you have these gorgeous analog dials on the left and the right side for your RPM and for your speedometer. So I kind of like the overall organization. Above this dashboard, between the screen and the movable windscreen, you have this plastic piece here. Supposedly, it channels air so that you can get some pseudo AC, some wind flow to your face if you're feeling hot. Except people say it's just a wind noisemaker and it doesn't actually cool you down. It just makes it noisier to be sitting on this motorcycle. But that's supposedly the job of this piece, is to provide some airflow to your head while you're riding. And if you don't need that extra air, you can just put this back down like that. But how do you get this motorcycle on? There's no key. This is keyless. The key is in my pocket, and the key actually looks really cool and Aston Martin-esque. But all you need to do is to be in the vicinity of this motorcycle. It's keyless go. So as long as the key is on you, you approach this dial here, and by twisting it clockwise, you turn on the motorcycle. If you do it a second time, you keep the electronics running, but the auxiliary power is turned off, so the lights and the heaters are not on, not running the battery down. The computer is extremely responsive. I love the system. There's no delay in anything. It's a quick, glitch-free system, and you expect that now at this point. Over $30,000 for this motorcycle, and in 2025. So it has come a long way, and it's pretty reliable. You also have the seat heat button and the grip heater button up here, and you have the audio source button up here as well, where you can pick AM, FM, Sirius XM, or your phone as the source of audio. And speaking of audio, you do have full coverage 360 surround sound system here, 2 speakers up here, 2 speakers in the back, and let's take a listen to how it sounds. Now, being the pioneer and the motorcycle that needs to lead the way, and every other brand should follow it, I'm surprised to see there are 2 options that are missing on this motorcycle, but the Ninja H2 SX SE did have them. One is the radar cruise control, the adaptive cruise control. This motorcycle doesn't have it. This motorcycle just has the regular cruise control. So if you are approaching traffic that's going slower than you, you actually have to disable the cruise control and reduce your speed yourself, whereas adaptive cruise control on the H2 SX SE would reduce or speed up, matching the speed of the vehicle in front of you. This motorcycle doesn't do that. And the second thing this motorcycle is missing that the H2 SX SE had is the blind spot monitoring assist. You're going to be sitting on this motorcycle with a relatively maybe large passenger sitting slightly higher and around you in the back. You're probably not going to be able to as easily turn around and look into your blind spots. It would have been nice if this motorcycle had the blind spot assist to tell you there is a car or a motorcycle where you're not able to see, but you have to really put the effort and turn your neck all the way around to see if there is somebody there on a really long cruise. Doing that over and over and over for hundreds and hundreds of miles can get you some neck fatigue, which Honda had introduced those two technologies. Maybe they're going to show up in the next iterations, but they're not on this motorcycle. Moving down from this control panel, you're going to see the 50th anniversary badge, which you paid some money for if you get this motorcycle. And moving down from that, you're going to see this compartment here that opens with the push of this button. And when it's open, you're going to realize there's a USB-C cord here to connect your phone, to charge it, and to hook your phone to this screen to use the Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. You can either Bluetoothly connect them or with this cable. One thing that I wish I had seen here in this compartment, maybe for the next iteration of Goldwing, Honda can add that, is a wireless charging to this compartment. So if one phone is connected via cable, you can put a second phone in there just charging, not necessarily connected to the motorcycle. But it doesn't have that. Underneath this compartment, you're going to see this other openable looking latch, but there are no buttons and there's no way to open it, seemingly. But this is where you put gas in this motorcycle. And how to open it is you got to come to the right side of the motorcycle. There is this compartment here with this plastic lid and a button at the top. And this button, surprisingly, is electronic. When you press it, you can hear the electronic latch unlocking and opening this lid. And I will tell you in a minute why that is electronic. But if you press that and the latch opens, that's where you find the refuel button. When you press that, only then do you get access to this fuel system. So I suspect this whole spiel here was not really to provide you this tiny amount of storage that's present here. It was technically to steel-proof the gas in this motorcycle, to put the button under a lockable compartment so that only with the push of that button you can open this and access fuel. The worst thing would be if you're hundreds and hundreds of miles away from a gas station and somebody steals your gas. So this is an attempt made at making this motorcycle's gas steel-proof. But going back to why that button might be electrically operated instead of just being a manual latch. This button is what's going to save your butt if you lose your key and you need to start this motorcycle. See, if you lose that proximity key and you damage it, it doesn't work, it runs out of battery, or somebody steals it, or you lose it, you don't have it on you when you approach the motorcycle, there is a plastic tab in the back of the motorcycle you can peel off. And when you peel it off, you can use the physical backup key to open the left saddlebag. When you open the left saddlebag, there is a cable in it. And you pull that cable to open the right saddlebag. And when you open the right saddlebag, there's a cable in there that you can open the rear saddlebag with. And now that you have all your saddlebags open, this motorcycle enters a mode called emergency retrieve mode, which means with the key not being found by the motorcycle's sensor. So the sensor does not feel that the key is anywhere near, but the compartments are open. You can come here, press this red button. I'm not gonna obviously activate that mode here, but you press the start button and hold it, and this electronic latch opener button that we saw earlier becomes a Morse code key. Hopefully before you lost your key, you took a picture of this little slip of paper that's attached to your key from the dealership, from the manufacturer, and there are certain numbers on this. You put those numbers in a Morse code pattern on this button here. So you press it, for example, 3 times for 3, then you press the red button, then 5 times for number 5 and you press the red button, 2 times for number 2 and you press the red button. And when you put that 9-digit key code in this motorcycle, the motorcycle starts up without a key. So that was Honda's way of starting this motorcycle up if you lose or damage your key or it's stolen from you. Now the question is, what if I park this motorcycle downhill and I want to pull it back up? It's not really possible to do that with a motorcycle that weighs over 800 pounds. And this motorcycle, of course, has a solution here on the left handlebar, and that's a reverse gear. In fact, you can actually walk the motorcycle forward and backwards with the electric motor that's on this motorcycle. It doesn't use the engine to do that. But essentially, when the motorcycle is running, you press this button over here and it unlocks the reverse or front gear, electric gear. And then if you press the downshift button, press and hold it, the motorcycle pulls itself back up. And if you press the upshift plus button, press and hold it, the motorcycle walks forward at a very slow pace, so you can save those muscle legs for another day. The other question though is, what about the park gear? Because in a car you have PRND, park, reverse, neutral, drive. I see the neutral and drive, and I just explained the situation with the reverse, but where is P for parking here? And the answer is, it doesn't exist. This motorcycle will never engage gears to stop it from rolling uphill or downhill. If it's in neutral, it will remain in neutral. You can't leave it in D because the motorcycle's computer automatically reverses it to neutral when you're done with your ride. So how do you stop this motorcycle from rolling down the hill? Well, there is a handbrake. On the other side of the motorcycle, there is this big fat button that you have to grab and press. Let me aim the camera so you can see it. It's right here. And it sounds like a handbrake in the car because it's spring loaded. Take a listen. And just like that, there is your P. And now moving back here to the passenger seat, there are a couple of things to mention. First is this plastic tab here. You might be wondering what it is. If you peel this off, there's a mechanism here for you to install a backrest for the driver. Most of you may not even carry passengers, and this is too far back. It's not for you, it's for the passenger. So what are you gonna rest your back against? You can install that. This motorcycle doesn't have it, but there's another Goldwing on the showroom floor that I'll show you a footage of. That one has the Honda OEM backrest installed on it, so that's what this tab is for, so you don't have to drill through the foam of the seat and custom make it yourself. It's designed right here. And on that side, you're gonna see a dial. That's for the rear seat heat, and that's right, this motorcycle, not only does it have grip heaters and front seat heater, it also has a rear seat heater for your passenger comfort, and that's provided right next to these speakers that are going to blow the eardrums of your passenger off. Now let's talk storage on this motorcycle, and you have 3 compartments. This is the touring version of this motorcycle, which means it comes with this central rear luggage compartment as well. The more sporty looking, outlaw looking version, the bagger one, which doesn't carry the word tourer in its name, that doesn't have this one. It just has the 2 side luggage compartments. But this one has 3 of them, and they all are electronically latched. So you can actually find these buttons all around. If you have the key and you walk up to these compartments, you just press these buttons and then just open up like that. And the other ones are over there. I can't really see it from this angle. Each of these compartments have a limit of 20 pounds of weight capacity limit, but overall, all these 3 together allow you to carry 120 liters volume of stuff. There has been complaints about these side loadings compartments. People prefer the top loading ones. They all have pros and cons. The top loading compartments where the latch opens upwards, the good thing is that your stuff don't just fall off the motorcycle. This one, you run that risk, but the upside of this one is that you actually can fit larger items because the side profile of this latch of this compartment is much bigger than the top profile of it. So if the top opened, much narrower, smaller items would have fit. Whereas if the side opens, you can shove something huge as a helmet in there and then lock it up. In fact, let's try it. Does my helmet fit in the side compartments of this Goldwing? Let's give it a try. Not the side compartment. Let's try the top compartment. So it turns out the top compartment actually fits 2 full-size helmets, but the side compartments can't fit them. But that's still plenty of room. Okay, good to know. And with all of that out of the way, I think you and I are ready to take this Goldwing 50th anniversary out on the road and give it a try. But before we do that, a huge shout out to Everett Powersports for allowing us to have this motorcycle for the day and to explore it and to take it out on the road to show you guys what you're getting when you spend over $30,000 for a brand new Honda Goldwing. And if you currently own an older version, what the differences are between this one that I just showed and the one that you own. Check out Everett Powersports, their website, and if you live locally, come check out the inventory. They have a fantastic selection of motorcycles, Honda, Yamaha, KTM, all the motorcycles you can think of. They have an example here, and they have a really nice selection of used bikes as well. Check them out at everettpowersports.com, and with all of that, let's go and ride this motorcycle. Let's go ride the 2025 Honda Goldwing DCT Tour 50th anniversary. Now this motorcycle comes in 2 colors. You can either get this Bordeaux No, it's Bordeaux, I think. Bordeaux metallic red, which comes with this red. It's got sparkles in it, and then this gold outline and the black inline paint in it. Or you can get it in the classic eternal gold color, which is a throwback to the original Goldwings of the olden days. I like this color more, to be perfectly honest, because although that other color has a cool, cool throwback factor, it's just not my color. Like, unless somebody knows the background and that Goldwings used to look like that, they're probably gonna like this color more than the other one anyways. They're gonna think that's outdated old color, which is the point of it. It's a throwback color. But here is the Bordeaux metallic red, and we're gonna go ride it. To start up this motorcycle, you have the key in your pocket. You show up near the motorcycle, you turn that to the right, the dial to the right clockwise. Now this is in the auxiliary power mode, ready to go. It says you're responsible for a safe ride, blah blah blah, and you press this and the motorcycle is running now. Beautiful. It's a quick walk around. Gorgeous marker lights. The turn signals are used as marker light. These are the day running lights. You have the fog lights on for some reason. I can turn those off. There's no fog right now. You press this button, turns off the fog lights. Of course, at this price point, everything is LED. Absolutely, the turn signals, the headlights, the tail lights, everything. There aren't side marker lights. There isn't any, but you move to the back, you have these beautiful LED brake lights, or I guess day running lights for the back. Anyways, gorgeous motorcycle, and now we're gonna go ride this bike. As far as the ergonomics go, it's low to the ground. I am 5'7", and I am almost flat-footed in this motorcycle. And you might be like, what? Almost? How tall is this bike that somebody who's 5'7" can't flat-foot this motorcycle? I can't flat-foot it not because it's tall, but because it's wide. It's so wide that my legs are kind of going outward and then down. But anyways, cruise control is on standby mode. I'm gonna turn that off. Grip warmer is all the way on, I think. Seat heat is all the way on. You can see these two buttons, seat heat and grip heat. They kind of show up on the screen over here. I'm gonna leave grip heater all the way on and seat heater all the way on, and then tell you down the line if it's getting too warm. Anyways, side stand is up. All you gotta do on a DCT is put it in drive, and now it's ready to go. You accelerate and it goes. Beautiful. Thank you. Sounds like a semi truck. Wow, it is insanely smooth. It's the Rolls-Royce of motorcycles. Wait, that light is blinking. Does that mean I don't have enough air in my tire? Well, that sucks. Okay, well, when I go back to the dealership, I'm gonna tell them to put some more air in the tire. Oh yeah, that actually brings up a good point. This motorcycle does have TPMS, or tire pressure monitoring system. This is downshifting gear number 2, gear number 1, and I didn't touch a single gear lever or shift lever or clutch lever or any of that. Let's go to the home screen. Let's go to settings. Okay, most of the settings disabled because we are riding the motorcycle. Wow, this is a lot more nimble than I thought. I always had this idea that Goldwings are absolute pain in the butt to be riding them around, but no, this doesn't feel any worse than any middleweight, middle-sized motorcycle I've ridden. Okay, mode: sport, economy mode, rain mode, tour, and back to sport. So 4 modes of engine performance. Volume up and down here, high beam, low beam up there, and then you presumably can tell your Siri or whatever your Android uses commands using this button that's right here. Okay, good to know. The GoPro was kind of hanging off my helmet. I don't know if the footage is unusable prior to this point or if I just messed it up, but apologies about that if the footage is not perfectly straight on the screen. And then all these buttons are, by the way, backlit. Like in pitch black, you can see them all. You don't have to guess or memorize what button does what. You can actually see them at night. All right, let's see, cruise control, test. Does it have to be above a certain speed? Let's see. Oh, there you go. So it's now set on like 45-ish. And it's working perfectly fine. I mean, at this point, I'm expecting Honda to have gotten at least the basic cruise control down. No questions asked. I wish it was the adaptive one, but it's not. And if you tap on your brake, turns the cruise control off. I can't play music on an extended bass on these videos because YouTube might mute those sections of the video due to copyright of whatever song I play. But yeah, if you were wondering why I'm not like blasting this intersection up with some fine rap right now. I guess rap is for Harley Davidson riders, jazz on this motorcycle. That's why, copyright issues. Okay, what else is there to talk about? Info says off, audio source, Bluetooth. Yeah, I have to pull the phone out first. We'll do it later. Okay, motorcycle's on sport mode now. Let's put it on touring. I want to see if the suspension's behavior changes in a tangible way. Wow, I can't feel the seat heat too well, but it's burning my palms. This grip heater is insane. Let's turn it down, jeez. Okay, let's turn it off actually. I think the residual heat is gonna last us all the way to the next state line over. Oh, let's turn on the fog lights. See if it looks bright. Oh yeah, look at that. Much brighter. Not that we needed it. There are street lights here, but still. Wow, this motorcycle is very smooth. Compared to the BMW I rode. I mean, I assume if you really want to go on a long tour, it wears off too quickly. Like, wears you down. Like 200-300 miles in your ride and the vibration just becomes annoying. I think the character that people talk about is mostly for those weekend warriors that take their super tourer motorcycle to a coffee shop and back. Not quite for people who actually want to cross state lines and go to different countries and come back. You probably want this flat 6-cylinder engine that makes almost no vibration at all. Combined with that cushiony seat, like the water bottle test that I showed you, it's insane how smooth this motorcycle is. By the way, this rider logo over here in the corner of the screen, that I think means it's only me and nobody else on the motorcycle. I imagine if you have a passenger on board, there is a replicating logo behind this person telling the motorcycle, like telling you that the motorcycle knows there are two people sitting here and perhaps adjusts the suspension or something. Oh, the sound of this engine. Oh my god. all right. The brake's fantastic. I just pretty much squeezed it as hard as I can and it did not go unexpectedly. That's awesome. Perfect. Beautiful motorcycle. If I had this kind of money, this motorcycle would have definitely been my next bike. Unfortunately, I spent all my money on a Ninja H2. This motorcycle is so fun. Thanks for watching.